Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel for another video. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to be doing reactions, we're not going to be doing covers. Today, we're going to be doing a little bit of a news segment. We're going to do today we're going to be doing a little bit of journalism, let me just say. Because if you guys haven't heard the incredible news that has been going around in the metal scene lately, the music industry as a whole, Warped Tour is back, ladies and gentlemen. You heard that right. Warped Tour is coming back officially next year. 2025 is officially the return of Vans Warped Tour. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that one of the best music festivals ever created will be coming back? You heard that right, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, over the internet, it's just been blowing up with all these headlines and crazy stuff like that. Warped Tour is returning in 2025. Founder Kevin Lehman, I believe I'm saying that right, but apologize if I'm not saying it right, but confirmed on September 20th, the legendary concert event toured for 24 years before retiring in 2018. Now, 2018 doesn't really typically feel that long ago, but you know, once you get to thinking of things, you know, it kind of is. You know, typically growing up back in the day, I didn't really get into this kind of music, you know, since my high school days, you know, around 2016, you know, 2015 era type stuff. So back in the day when this was popping, you know, when the more popular bands were still up and coming, I unfortunately didn't get to go to any of those festivals. But I did go to the last one, the very last one I did end up going to, which it's a typical festival. You know, you got your typical bands, you got like 4, 5, 6 stages with bands playing at the same time, so you kind of have to adjust accordingly to which band you want to see. But you know, it was cool. It was cool to see, you know, all the booths, all the merch booths and stuff like that. Was always like my favorite thing to see with all these bands and stuff like that. And you get to see some bands that you typically wouldn't normally see otherwise on one of these festivals. So it was very cool to see, very fun experience. You know, I definitely will go again. But since then, we've had all these other pop-ups festivals, you know, going around. You know, we still got Rock am Ring. We still got Rockville. We still got Grass Pump. I know those are like European festivals and stuff like that. But we also got Aftershock. We still got, you know, newer festivals coming out. Like When We Were Young Festival is a fairly new, you know, one coming up in the near future. But we also got Mayhem. We got Mayhem coming back, ladies and gentlemen, which is another amazing festival to go to. I went to that one, I think it was 2015 when they were still doing that one on, but then that one went on a hiatus as well. You know, like, I don't know the whole full story of why these festivals, you know, had to cancel, unfortunately, but, you know, yearly these festivals used to come around. You know, the summertime was the place to go to see all these festivals, to see all your favorite bands, but then something happened. But I do remember seeing the festival I went to as Mayhem with Avenged Sevenfold as the headliner, and it was just an amazing show. Like I said, these festivals are amazing to see, especially when you see all these, you know, like older bands that typically don't go on tour that much, but they go to these festivals. You know, it's amazing to see, especially with the bigger budget, bigger production with all these festivals, to see what kind of stuff the bands pull out on their performance. So it's amazing to see. But like I said, we got Mayhem coming back as well as Warped Tour. You know, it's blowing my mind. But according to Lehman, changes in the community led to the end of the tour. Allegedly, some bands didn't want to perform with each other, which, you know, that's up for the debate. You know, bands fight and bicker, you know, all the time, but you know what for? You know, you just go in there to perform your music and just entertain your fans. You know, I guess some stuff can happen behind the scenes with times and set list times, stuff like that. But you know, I don't know the full details. I'm sure there's other stuff hidden under the rug as well. But you know, if that's the main reason or the stuff that they want to show only, but you know, it can get stuff like that can be worked around. You know, with promoters, with scheduling and stuff like that. You know, if some bands don't typically like each other, then you can shift their schedules around or something like that. But you know, there's always compromises, but I'm sure there's other, you know, legal reasons that they can't disclose, or financial stuff that happens to everybody, that unfortunately they have to end the tours and cancel them for some time. But now, however, Lehman has confirmed that Warped Tour is coming back while speaking with Polestar. With an official quote here, "We have something cooking for 2025. Details should be ready in a few weeks," he said. While there have been no further details like lineups or venues, it is important to note that 2025 coincides with the festival's 30th anniversary. So maybe they were holding off Maybe they were holding off with like a round or odd number or prime number year to do this officially 30-year anniversary. I don't know. People would like to do weird stuff when it comes to dates, but you know, 30 years. 30 years, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I've only been around the scene for a couple years, rather, maybe not 10 or so, max. So 30 years is kind of like over my time frame when it comes to this type of music. But when it comes to like festivals, you know, I love them. I love seeing them that they're coming back. Some of my favorite bands are doing anniversary albums this year, which I'm super hyped, super happy to see and record those when those come on. But 30 years anniversary for a festival, you know, they definitely have that in the back of their mind. They definitely want to do something special. I see that they're still trying to do all these festivals and still trying to push, you know, what people want. And so maybe they are planning something. Maybe they are doing something big. Maybe they're doing something different. Maybe they want to do like some bigger event, have more stuff to do for people at this, you know, 30-year anniversary. Because 30 years, that's a long time. That is definitely a long time, especially for a festival. You know, like I said, it's very hard to keep things like this going with you know, financial situations, keeping the bands wanting to go on tour, you know, for a whole summer to do festivals like this and stuff like that. Because this took like the whole summer. This festival alone took the whole summer. You know, some festivals are only like a weekend or like a couple days, but this Vans Warped Tour took the whole summer, I believe, like a couple months, 3-4 months. So you had to plan accordingly, especially when you're in a band. You know, have everything packed, everything organized, band members, make sure the schedules are clear to get on the road for that amount of time, because that's a long time. That is a long time to be on a road, let me just say. But I wouldn't know what that feels like, because I know a lot of bands, you know, it's hard to go on a tour, like tour after tour, and away from home for months at a time. You know, it can get to you. It can get to some people. It can get to your headspace. You know, get yourself, you know, overwhelming to keep going on stage, to keep everything, keep stuff, because you don't stop. There's no time really to rest, so you got to keep going on tour, keep going on the next date, the next city. You know, it's a lot of time on the road, so I can see how that can be, you know, like exhausting for some people. But like I said, man, 30 years, they definitely need to be doing something a little bit special this time around, because if they've been away for this amount of time and then they're trying to push this something back, they gotta have something to bring the crowd, get the crowd come back, get the bands, you know, intrigued to come back. So I'm eager to see what that announcement will be. While the tour in 2018, it was revived in the next year for a trio of shows to celebrate the 25th anniversary. I think that was the one I went to, because, you know, I think because the one they only did was the three cities that they only had. So there was only 3 shows throughout the entire summer. So there was like East Coast, Central, and then West Coast. I went to the West Coast show, and like I said, it was my first time being at the you know, festival. So, you know, it was cool to see stuff. It was cool to see. You know, I like festivals. I like going to these things. Like I said, you know, I got to see some of my favorite bands for the first time from being there, and it's very cool to see. A lot of people, definitely overcrowded when it comes to these kind of things, especially walking around, being on your feet all day, which is kind of one of the most annoying things at these kind of things. But you know, you're there for the vibe, you're there for the music, you're there to entertain yourself as well as the bands. Cop yourself some merch. You already know the feeling when it goes to concerts. But you know, it's a very entertaining experience. It's very something like you wouldn't normally get at just a normal concert venue. You know, if you haven't had the chance to go to a festival, I'll definitely get to one. Like, so many legendary bands have performed on the Warped Tour stages, such as Fall Out Boy, Paramore, Avenged Sevenfold, Sum 41, Green Day, and many, many more. Like I said, most of these bands got their start from being on these stages, and it's a cool thing to see, man. From like back in the day when they first started, you know, all these mainstream bands nowadays first started on some of these stages, which is a crazy story to tell, and it's just a crazy ride. I'm sure that a lot of experiences that these bands have to share with their fans, and you know, it's cool. It's a cool way to get yourself into the industry if you're making a band. You know, they used to do, I believe, you know, Battle of the Bands from back in the day. You know, if you were lucky enough to get one of the top spots, you were able to perform at one of these festivals, which is an amazing opportunity, especially if you want to be one of those up-and-coming bands, you know, trying to get their music out there, trying to get, you know, popularity. It was definitely one of those things that I appreciated from these festivals. Warped Tour had an immense cultural effect on punk, emo, and alternative kids in those 24 years. The bands that played in their early days went on to have illustrious careers in the genre. Like I said, man, from some of these famous bands that you'd never live, one of your favorite. Like I said, man, all these bands had to start somewhere, and all these mainstream popular bands that are your favorite nowadays had to all start right here. And it's just a crazy thing to think, from all these bands, think that they weren't popular back in the day till now, just to reach their status. And it's just unbelievable. It's just really unbelievable to think that someone such as your favorite bands today, and the popularity that they've grown, that they all started somewhere. They all started somewhere. They all had their SoundCloud EP probably up on there trying to get popularity. Like I said, the grind is real. Everyone starts from nothing, but if you keep at it, you keep working at it, you'll definitely eventually get to where you want to be. It's probable to say that the ending of Warped Tour directly led to the inauguration of When We Were Young Festival. Now, the OG is returning, hopefully in the time to celebrate turning 30. Like I said, When We Were Young, when that dropped, I think it was last year when it first got their announcement, it had that Warped Tour vibe. It had that Warped Tour feel. Hundreds of bands stacked, multiple day events, all the original bands from back in the day, all the original Warped Tour bands were coming back for that festival. And it just felt like we were getting back to where we used to be, Just all these bands, the summertime vibe, summertime music festivals, all your favorite bands. It just felt right. It felt right. I'm sure they're still doing that, because I believe that one's actually in a couple weeks or next month, But so they're doing it more on the fall schedule this time around. But maybe they pushed it back because of this. Maybe they pushed it back because of this one. So you can't have both festivals going on at the same time. That would just be overkill, and so many bands could not do both shows, especially around the same time frame. But who knows? Maybe they're coming back next year with a full, summer lineup. Maybe they're going town to town, city to city like they used to. Maybe that's the whole big announcement for the 30-year anniversary. Who knows? But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, when that lineup drops, when that set list drops of all the bands coming in, and people are going to explode. I'm sure, ticket prices are going to be through the roof. That's a whole nother issue that we're not going to discuss today. But like I said, people gotta people gotta understand, things aren't the same price as they used to be. A lot more people wanting to go to these things from back in the day, and it just becomes, the popularity just keeps growing and growing each and every year for to see their favorite bands, to go out and see live music again. But like I said, man, Vans Warped Tour, I've only been to one, so hopefully maybe next year I can go into seeing this one, and maybe I can show you guys around, maybe show you guys a little bit of snippets, a little bit couple minute videos here and there about the venue. If you guys haven't had the chance or can't go, unfortunately, to one of these festivals, I'll be happy to go there and show you guys firsthand what it is to be like at a show. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, Vans Warped Tour is back. I'm super excited and super eager to see. I'm eager to see what that set list will be, what that band lineup will be as well, because who knows, things can go through the roof. Like I said, all these new festivals keep coming and going. Like all the old original ones are still alive. Some of the original ones are still alive out there. So it's amazing to see all these bands still wanting to go out and do live shows. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, Warped Tour is back. Super hyped, super excited. And when that set list drops, I might do a reaction video. to that, and we can go through each and every one of them. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, Warped Tour is back. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, especially new here, because we're going to do everything back on the channel, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to miss out on a single one. I guarantee that. And I'll see you guys in the next one.